So what I'm going to do is say that's my refrigerator, and this box eventually has to go down and cover it up. So I'm going to pull it out kind of like this, and then, you know, if you were to run this wire through there, which I'm not going to do at this point, I want to be able to, okay, this is the positive side, so I want the positive wire for the first panel to go to this first head, and the negative wire to go over to this first screw. So I take the wire in and I bend it to where I know it needs to go, and then I say, okay, I come about an inch off of there because this box is 1.5 inches, and I say, okay, I need to strip this outer jacket off right there. So basically I'm taking the wire in, bending it to where I know it needs to go, and then kind of marking it where I need to strip that jacket off. So you take a knife, and you don't really have to like score this deeply. All you got to do is weaken it. You put a scratch, a cut, a minor shallow cut all the way around it, and then you can just bend this thing and it'll come apart, okay? And when you take that jacket off, you'll see this is that filler material that fits between the wires in order to make it round. And when you have colors like this, black and white, black is always positive, white is always negative. So then we need to trim this filler material off. And I kind of fold it back against the jacket there and take my knife. That way I'm not cutting into myself. And I do the same thing on this side as I take it and I fold it back and I cut. Dispose of that. Then I've got these two long wires. So I'm going to loosen this up a bit. And since I know positive's over here, I kind of want this black wire to be on this side. So I take this into this box and I push this through, and I can just thread that on down there for now. So the important part is we need to cut the fit, is what I call it. I'm going to this screw head, and I know I got to bend this wire and come up from the bottom, so I'm going to cut it about right here. And then I'm going to grab my strippers, laying right here. I'm going to take off, this bus bar is only a 1/4 inch thick, so I really only need to strip a 1/4 inch or just a tiny bit more than that off, because we don't want a bunch of stray strands in there that could short out against some other wires or something. So anyway, just to give you a feel for this, what I would do is grab a pair of needle nose pliers, and I know we're going to come in and we've got to, you know, basically bend this up, okay? So we want to make that bend like that. Then I'm going to take a, I'm going to do this by hand, so I'm going to take a little screwdriver, and white is negative, here's my negative symbol, here's a negative bus bar. The very first one is intended for the heavier gauge wire going out, so I want to put it in this one. And I'm going to back that set screw out till I can see that hole in there cleanly. And I'm going to set this wire in there like that. See, almost all the copper will be embedded in this bus bar now. And here's where the, you know, having that bus bar up in the air comes in handy, because now I can spin this screwdriver and have it straight with the bus bar. Straight in, you get the best grip on the screw. You always want to make sure you didn't set that set screw down on top of the insulation. You want it on the bare copper. So then I bring this over like this, and now I know that this wire is going to come right straight up into this. And so I kind of just see where that point is. Mark it with my thumb. Take the stripper, that's 10 gauge wire, do that 1/4-inch strip. Loosen this very first set screw. Take my needle nose, kind of pre-shape it a little bit. Take it, bring it in from the bottom here. Nice if you twist the wires before you start. Then it's easier to get it in the slot, if you will. Same thing, we're going to tighten this down and make sure it's on the copper and not the insulation. So when you cut the fit, and then you do, if you have another panel, you pry this out, put in another weather tight, bring the wire in, cut the fit, and then in the end, it's really easy just to slide this box down. Of course, if I used the tape first, these screws wouldn't be in here. So, normally that would be taped to the side of your box. You slide this box down, line it up, and then you put in your screws. You get the picture from here, I'm sure. And then same on this side. So then you tighten this down on the wire. If you've never seen inside of these things, basically there's these little slits in here that allows this to compress, and there's a taper inside of here. There's a piece of rubber inside of there, so that when you put this on and tighten it down, those little fingers with the rubber inside just squeeze down right against your wire. So you get that weather tight seal there. And so that would be single panel. And there's your box, and then the refrigerator vent hangs over it like this, so rain and sunshine pour off of it. Sometimes those lids are so close to the roof that you have to cut a little notch out to go around this box. Anyway, that's what we call a reefer for refrigerator, reefer combiner box.